see, what those bloody corporations do, they take your ideas and they suck them. Suck them like leeches until they've gotten every last drop of the marrow from your bones.
Hey, Teacup, why don't you chill out?
Very well. Oh, little Lulu, I love you, Lou, just the same. Ah.
HBO's The Little Lulu Show from 1995 was one of those animated shows for me growing up that was really instrumental in my growth as an artist, even more so than even I think I realized after a while. I think that's what really made me want to go back and talk about it, especially since no one else seems to. If you watch my animated series that I did in high school, Power K, you kinda have to be blind in order to not see the resemblance. Hello?
Yes, Tariq, it's Stevie Wonder. I see it.
Alright, so in putting this video together, I was definitely in awe upon finding out how much Lulu lore there appears to be. So, Lulu herself started out as a comic strip in the 1930s, drawn by a woman named Marge. That was a shortened pen name. Her real name was Marjorie Henderson Fight the Blob. It started in a Saturday Evening Post and eventually leaped onto its own comic books in the late 1940s, named after Lulu herself. As far as I can tell, this is not only where she started from, but her friends as well. Alright, so Famous Studios, known for the Popeye cartoons or whatever, did a series of shorts based on Little Lulu too, which you can definitely say are...
Well, fan my pure Virginia body. That little Lulu puts them birthday remembrances in the prettiest places.
Old, but like none of the principal cast is there. I'm not really too keen on the timeline of everyone's first appearance in the comics or whatever, but it felt like they just kind of made these shits up as they went along. I mean, like, Tubby's in some of these, but apparently his name is Fatso now, and he talks like he smoked 6 cartons of Newports before diving in a pool of helium.
Look, Fifi, I can do a blindfolded too.
There's this one weird short where Lulu catches Tubby talking to another girl, and this nigga dead tries to pull the whole, man, I don't even know shorty like that. Damn, Lulu, you wildin'.
Now you know you can trust me. You two tiny termites.
Damn. See, this is your problem, Lulu. You sitting there messing with these lames. You ain't never heard black men don't cheat? So ditch that zero and get with a Negro.
My ex cool with all my other bitches. I just say that it's a small world.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I know the golden age of animation kind of has this flawless stigma held over it, but these Lulu cartoons range from aight to borderline trash. These shits are way more boring than I remember. Plus, some of these things in these shorts are kind of just, okay, alright, like watch this guy while Lulu gets some money out of her stocking. Mind you, she's supposed to be like 8. Okay, so as a kid, I remember watching the Little Lulu cartoons, but I also remember watching the Little Audrey cartoons, another series made by the same company. Apparently, these niggas didn't feel like renewing the license to make more Little Lulu cartoons, so they flipped and made a completely new character. Which, you know, I think is one of the nastiest ways to cover up your tracks, but what do I know? These Audrey cartoons still slap despite being...
I just can't understand a child eating candy 48 hours a day.
Old. The last 2 short subject cartoons were produced in the 60s as part of the Novel Tunes series, with this UPA-ish animation style and pacing, which ended up being much more close to form to the comics. These ones are kind of cool. They definitely characterize Lulu and Tubby a lot better, and use a few more characters that we actually know. Yeah, y'all hear that sound design? Shit's so bad, you think it's coming from one of my videos. Wait.
Pause. What the fuck?
Then there's apparently an anime from the 70s because Japanese niggas loved Lulu, I guess? Fam, I don't even know what the fuck I'm reviewing anymore. I scanned the intro to see which characters they ended up using in this version, and I recognized some, like Annie and Iggy. Others kind of just got left behind, like Peppermint Patty over here. Looks like her Lou didn't love Lulu just the same. All my laughs are scripted. Good luck trying to find this shit.
The only known footage of the Japanese and English versions are the intro. However, the whole series is available in Spanish.
What the fuck? Man, they better get that donde le está biblioteca bullshit out of here and put that bitch in English so my insensitive American ass can enjoy it. And not steal jokes from Rap Critic.
You ever like sometime, right, you get on that toilet and when you shit, that water splash up on your ass? Don't that make you mad, right?
Alright, so now we can talk about the Little Lulu show. In 1995, this dropped on HBO, pretty much a direct adaptation from the original comic book. And honestly, I felt like talking about all the other versions of these characters in media will really amplify just how special this show is. The Little Lulu show details the adventures of Lulu Moppet, a young girl that lives in an all-white town where everyone just has the same damn face and skin tone. It's like the Peanuts specials, really. There's nothing really different about the setup, it's just stories about Lulu and her friends around town. The whole time rewatching this, I couldn't help but think that this shit took place in the 50s. It kind of has that look to it, you know what I mean? And you know, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that little girls don't really dress like this anymore. I doubt they sell long sleeve red dresses with granny panties on Fashion Nova. What really drives the show, like any show like this, is definitely the characters. Okay, so I have this weird thing with Lulu's character. In the theatrical shorts, she's like a troublemaker with like a childlike innocence to her. She runs around terrorizing people, but also always comes across like she's just minding her own business. Since those came first, I sort of assumed that this was how her character was supposed to always be, but every other adaptation is closer to the one in the 1995 show. Lulu's treated as a kid, a child who gets herself into situations because of her skewed view of the things around her. You don't really get her pulling pranks or practical jokes. If anything, you commonly see her trying to do the right thing and help her friends. The only time the asshole comes out is when it's revenge driven, like if Tubby's picking on her and the girls or something. Every once in a while, you'll get a story that's built on like a childlike misunderstanding, like when Lulu brought that duck home.
What's that? It's dinner. We're going to have roast duck for supper tonight. Isn't that nice?
But those are more when the adults come into play. Admittedly, I was a little on the fence about how I felt about this since it's not like the theatrical shorts. But then I realized those things were trash. Fam, I just love Tubby. He's so great whenever he's on screen, even when he's being annoying. He's Lulu's best friend. They play it like in the shorts in the comics where they kind of like each other a little bit, but they're still kids, so they ground it and don't go overboard. But, you know, then again, those shorts are pretty wild.
You are a proud father.
Yo, this nigga Tubby is such a fucking snake, son. But it's different from like that one friend from the Mighty Bee or all those times that Patrick acted like him and SpongeBob wasn't boys. They play Lulu and Tubby's relationship as if they're just stubborn kids that enjoy hanging out with each other, but just get on each other's nerves. Tubby and Lulu could be best friends one day, but when he gets around his boys, he flips and it's a totally different story.
No girls allowed, Lulu. You know the vibes. You know what type of time we on.
That's called boy tipping.
He's what the French like to call a bitch ass nigga. By Chanel. Annie's Lulu's best female friend, and she has a twin brother, Iggy, who hangs out with Tubby and his squad. Annie's always been kind of written like she's Lulu's younger sibling to me. Lulu's usually the one explaining everything to her or getting her into situations. They definitely have a nice dynamic and an enduring friendship. I just think she's probably supposed to be like a year or two younger. Lulu dead tells Tubby that Shorty can't read, so I don't know how old she is.
Annie hasn't learned to write yet.
It's okay, Annie. Floyd Mayweather can't read either. Shit's kinda sad. Who this, Floyd? You wanna fight? I ain't scared of you. My name? Pan Pizza, nigga. That's right. Rabble Taxi, you fucking slore. Come at me. Square up, bitch. And now we play the waiting game. Whenever Iggy's around, he has this weird nature to him, like he's always pissed off or his mind's just somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty funny. Like, they do a beauty contest for all the girls in the neighborhood in one episode, and while all the boys are cheering, he's just sitting there like, man, I don't even want to be here. Like, there's Gloria, who gets hit on by literally every guy in the neighborhood on some Nash from Ed, Edd n Eddy shit. But the only one she really gives any play to is Wilbur, the rich kid. I'ma just assume that it's because he got that bag on him. I mean, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but... No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Kind of appropriate to lump these two together. They're the two main antagonists for Lulu, the ones she can't really stand. Characters like these definitely tend to be extremely annoying, and they definitely creep into that territory. Like, I don't exactly jump for joy when it's time for a glorious story or anything. I just think the show's smart in how sparingly they use these characters. They don't take up too much screen time, and it's always nice when they get what's coming to them. But Alvin? Fuck Alvin. He's the youngest kid in the neighborhood. All the other kids babysit him and shit, mostly Lulu. Even when he's not doing the wrong thing, most of his dialogue is just crying and whining like, okay, we get it. You have 80,000 subscribers and you're stressed out. Good for you. Sheesh, am I right?
I don't understand that joke. Ah!
There's definitely other characters too, and I know the show ran for 3 seasons, but we somehow barely get to know them. Like Willie, Tubby's right-hand mans. We see him, like, often, but we know damn near nothing about him aside from the fact that he's the biggest and the strongest. He doesn't have any real spotlight moments to show who he really is. I don't even know who this nigga is. I legit had to look his name up. Apparently, it's Eddie. He doesn't do anything. Fuck you, Eddie! There's these twins that I don't remember as a kid either.
Who the fuck are you?
There's Lulu's parents, but like, I don't care. Like, nobody watches any of these kinds of shows for the parents. Unless it's like Rugrats or something.
Betty, a thief? That's an absurd proposition! You're an absurd proposition!
So I always knew that Lulu was voiced by Tracy Ullman because it's at the end of the theme song, but then I noticed that it's not there anymore after the first season ends. So apparently after that, Lulu's voiced by Jane Woods, who still does a great job. I'm usually on top of these kind of things, but I genuinely didn't even notice a change until I just randomly glanced at the end credits at the end of a season 3 episode.
Hello? Tubby? Oh, that you? Yeah, all the games rained out, so how about you come over here? We could play indoor tag.
That wasn't crazy, Annie. That was art. It's grown-ups who are crazy.
Shit, I just thought they were tired of working with the woman that had Simpsons bumpers on her show that were actually funnier than her actual content and actively yelled about how much she hated them on her show, then tried to sue Fox years later because she felt like she was owed something for their success. Huh? No, you relax. The only other voice I recognize is Bruce Dinsmore as Tubby, who still voices Binky from Arthur. Watching all these Lulu adaptations, he's definitely the best Tubby. I think the voice he uses even fits him better than Binky. But what do I know? I didn't run for 20 years and switch to Flash animation, now did I? So episodes are usually structured as so. Lulu would come out on stage and deliver some stand-up about what it's like to be a kid. Then they'll drop a Lulu bite, which are like 30-second gags with no sound. Then the Lulu tune, a full story with dialogue and anything. Repeat this formula twice and you got yourself a full episode. So this is 1995. My first instinct is to think that the writers were influenced by Seinfeld to have the whole stand-up comedy before telling the stories thing. These can definitely be charming. I just feel like they kind of missed a little potential here. The stand-up jokes rarely ever have anything to do with the stories that they actually end up telling, which you think would be one of the first things they consider doing to give the show a little more cohesion. But they don't. So it just kind of makes it seem like all these are just kind of random. I feel like they just produced a bunch of Lulu bites and Lulu tunes and the stand-up joints all separately and just paired them together with whatever before sending all the episodes out. For each of them, they always do these title cards that have the same background singers from the theme song singing Lulu in various tones.
Oh, Lulu, Lulu, Lulu.
It's gotta be kind of fun to have somebody do that for you, huh? Hey, do tunes with Tariq.
Tunes with Tariq.
Now do Pump It Up by Joe Budden. The best out of the 3 is definitely the Lulu tunes, which really help drive the show. These characters are so great, you legitimately don't mind spending time with them. I'm usually not a subscriber to the whole they don't make them like this no more way of thinking, but that's definitely not cap. No more cap, some would say. The way the show is written is so wholesome. It's funny, but the tone is just so calming and sweet. Honestly, when's the last time you genuinely just smiled from ear to ear while watching an animated show? The closest thing today that this kind of writing puts you in the mind of is like We Bare Bears. It's always important to have these kind of shows for kids. Show that there's more ways of making them laugh other than having a dog named Dookie. Out of all the animated versions of these characters, this is the one that feels the most Lulu, if you know what I mean. I don't know if it's because this is the one that lasted the longest or what. Like, I feel this way when I look at Tubby's design throughout the years. This is the one that just feels the most right. I made a joke earlier that all the characters have the same face, and no more cap. All right, I won't make that a thing. It could be a little off-putting at first, all the characters having the same eyes, mouths, nose, and skin tone, but after a while, you really just kind of forget it. If anything, the neat style just makes it a bit more welcoming. I always low-key loved when these kind of cartoons didn't draw the inside of the characters' mouths. That's always hilarious to me, especially when they're yelling.
Black entertainment television is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Otherwise, there's not really much to say about the style. This show has some of the most consistent animation I've ever seen. Most shows kind of grow or change throughout the seasons, but these niggas was just chilling. There's literally no change in anything at all. Huh? Oh, you're asking me if that's a good or a bad thing?
I don't know. I'll get back to you.
Watch my movie.
With freckles on your skin, always in and out of trouble, but mostly always in.
The Little Lulu show was definitely a lot of fun to go back and revisit. The characters, the stories, the jokes are all just as dope as I remember them being. Shows with such a wholesome tone are so far in between nowadays that it's always good to show them love whenever we can. Hey, I even learned a little bit of Lulu lore while doing this. I take pride in the fact that I now have the most detailed video about Little Lulu on YouTube. Until some asshole hears me say that and goes, "What? Watch this!" and spends 53 minutes reviewing that live action special from the 70s. I'm just saying, if that happens, y'all heard it here first. I'm currently turning on my Channel Awesome notifications to see when I'm proven right. Nah, no, I'm not.
I'm Lulu Muppet.
Hi, Lulu. What's on your little mind?
Comedy is tough. Sometimes you have to roll with the punches.
Come on, we're gonna pick the most beautiful girl in the neighborhood.
I don't care who wins, as long as it's not Gloria.
But let's face it, boys are angry with anything that gets in their way.
I should know. Boys are often angry with me.